In this video, I'm going to outline the information that has been sent to students and make some recommendations on how you should run the testing in your classroom. Test taking in your classroom should be following test taking procedure. This means the students should be working in silence and they should not be communicating with each other. It's important that they have some work ready to do if they've finished the test early. This can be any work of their choice. They have been told to come prepared and have some work ready. And secondly, you can have a task ready for them to do. During testing, kids can be quite insecure about the level that they're working at and can put their hands up and ask all kinds of questions. So I'm going to outline what you can and can't help them with. Now, it's important to reassure them that they will eventually get to a question that they cannot do. They're not used to this happening in their day-to-day testing arrangements. So they've already been warned about this, but perhaps reinforce that they will eventually come to a question which is too hard for them, that this is normal and is part of the testing procedure. Secondly, if they do the test too quickly or randomly, the test will stop and you will have to, as the proctor, would have to have a conversation with them about them taking the test seriously. In order to avoid this, it's best to just warn them that the test has this capacity built into it. Okay, so again, they've been told about this, but it's important to remind them. Now, these instructions are actual official NWEA instructions for proctors. So you will need to tell them that in mathematics testing, that on some, not all of the test questions, a calculator tool appears at the top. When this happens, they can click the picture to open an on-screen calculator. If they are unsure about a word in a question, they can raise their hand for help, and you can help them by pronouncing the word. But you cannot tell them what the word means or explain the maths symbols. That's for maths map testing. If you're issuing a reading test, then remind them that if a reading passage is too long to fit on the screen, that they can use the scroll bar on the side to scroll down and display the rest of the passage. Sometimes the same passage is repeated, but perhaps at a higher level. They should not skip the question because they think the passage and the question are the same. They should read through it and check that the question is different. This information that I've just given you is on a presentation which I will make available to you at the end of this training. Now, you may wish to share this information in a previous lesson or just before you start testing. In addition, this page should be on your screen or on your board as the students come in and start testing. It's a quick guide that will enable them to get started as quickly as possible. Now, I have sent them a link with this address. This is where they need to go in order to start testing. If they are completely useless and they haven't got that email or they can't find it or whatever, then literally they can just type this into their browser. Secondly, it's highly likely that instead of getting this screen, which is what they should get, they get this error message. Oops, where's my test window? Now that is because they have to disable pop-ups. Again, this is something I have shared with them and explained in a short video, but if they're not sure, if you have this page ready for them, then they can just look on the board and follow the instructions. So what they have to do here is they have to click always allow pop-ups, done, and that will enable them to access this screen, which is the appropriate one. They will need this information, the login and the password. Now, until you call up the session, they're not going to have that. So when you put this on the screen, either delete this, because this is just an example, right? and put your session login and password. Or if you're not quite ready for that yet, if you want to go over this presentation and stuff before, then what you can do is just delete all of this and just get one of your more able students, competent students, to write it on the board literally when you call up the session. You also need to very clearly tell them which one of these two they're doing. If they're doing Growth Reading 6+ or Growth Maths 6+, in case they need it for logging in. This entire screen can be left on, or this entire page can be left on the screen throughout the beginning of testing. So it's a quick guide for them. As soon as they log in here and they write the appropriate information, what they'll get is a drop-down list. They have to select their name and then they're prompted to click OK. Once they've done that, it's down to you to confirm them. And that's all the information they need, both prior to testing and during testing.